So let's fix one thing with the parry, then let's work on to onto doing the potions, stuff like that. I think we should be fine with this. Let's move this guy down here. I also added some new animations. Basically, we now have a bonfire start and some revisions on the backstabs and parry and pretty much all of them. Still not final, not the final animations, but it will do for now. Okay, so what I want to fix is this, that as you can see, I'm actually parrying him, but sometimes he's actually hitting us. So that is a little bit of a problem. Let's try backstab just for good measure. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to parry him without him attacking. Okay, anyway, let's fix the parry stuff. So on our controller, we will say on damage, when you're actually taking damage, we are going to be looking for this basically. So if the parry collider is active when you're taking damage, that means we are inside the parry, so probably that's going to be a parry. You're going to have to return. Now, this is not entirely true, however, because we need to also check if you are in front. So if you are actually going to be parried, we need to check that. So in the animator on the damage collider, let's see. We're just checking if we hit something, I guess. Yeah, if we found a damageable. And that's where we need to, I think we just need to change also the damage, the actual interface. Oops. Come on. Let's go the definition, and we do pass the action, but I'd rather also pass the direction of where the attack was coming from. So in here, I think we're only passing this in here. You have the owner, which is a transform. We can get the transform from the owner, which means if we get owner.transform, we all get the action container. Okay. Let's see, this only tells us the action. Although, I guess we know that this has an animator hook, which means it has the animator, which means if we just do animator hook.transform.forward, that will work as well. Okay, then on both my AI controller, where we have the on damage, we're going to be using the vector 3 direction, and then for this one, let's pass this attack direction. Let's pass it like that. And then down here, when we are passing the damage, well, we are already doing the check over here, so we could just say vector 3 or transform.forward, the opposite. Okay. Then on our controller, we do pass the on damage as well. So we're going to add attack direction. So if this is the case, then we need to check I'll just check the dot product, to be honest, whatever, from my own transform.forward and the attack direction. And now, if this is lower than 0, if it's higher than 0, then that means they both look at the same direction, because this is the parry. We fixed this for the parry. Then the dot product should be the opposite directions. Okay, so I think that should take care of that. Let's hit play and let's solve it. Okay, and yeah, true enough, we are not hit anymore. Let's fix the parry, however. Yeah, I think I've tailored the attack animations too close, so it's a little bit hard. So let's fix the parry detection. We don't have it here, but we do check in here. So instead of checking the angle between the two transforms, because this is what's really off, we could just check the dot products again. So let's rename that to dot, and that will be the dot product, and then we need the transform and our own transform. So if dot is less than 0, we'll do the parry. Then for backstab, you probably can do the same thing, but I think angle can play a big role, so maybe just raise the angle of the backstab. Because we also rotate, we can be a little bit more forgiving. But of course that's up to you if you want to tailor it and how much you want to tailor it. Yeah, that's way more easier to do the parry. And let's try the backstab. Emphasis on the try. Or I think I can do the backstab because we're actually opening a flag that you can be backstabbed. Oh, the flag is already open actually. Then I'm curious to see what's the angle, and we're not getting that. Now, alternatively, we could just say, just check independently, check the backstab. And it could be this as well. Well, we'll see. Let's see what's the angle, and we'll worry about that later. Let's hit play. I see we get an error somewhere. We'll see this in a bit. That's weird. We are not really getting anything from here, as I see. And I think, I think the entire logic for that is kind of wrong. Let's see what this error is. On damage, okay, we need to check if animator hook is not null. I don't know why it was null in the first place, to be honest. But it shouldn't be the case, so let's say if animator hook is null It's probably because it's not yet initialized, so go find the animator hook. Okay, then let's go back to our backstab and let's try and fix the problem with this. So instead of a sphere cast, let's do physics dot an overlap sphere, but that's not how you write it. So physics dot overlap sphere, we need the origin. That's the origin. The radius, let's say 1. Layer mask, I don't think we need the layer mask. Let's try this for now. So now, for each collider we found in colliders, we're going to do this. Let's see, I think we're missing. No, we have one more than we need. Only problem is we don't have the hit anymore, so we're going to use the collider. As you can see, it's the same thing, but yeah, since we do have a return method for this case, then that should be fine, because we're breaking from checking the other colliders. That is, we don't need this. Then we don't need the direction either. And of course, this one is not used anymore. However, we need to be checking if the stored variable, if the transform now is in front of us. So float in front dot equals enemy transform dot position minus our transform dot position and that will be from vector3 dot and transform dot forward. Okay, so if it's not in front, because everything we're doing it's from things in front of us. If it's not something that is in front of us, then simply continue. We don't really need to do anything over there. Okay, and let's try this. Well, I'm actually going to give it a little bit bigger radius. Let's say radius of 2, although I think that should be, no, that should be 1. You know what? There's no harm. Let's just do radius of 2. Okay. Okay, that worked. It's just the backstab. He actually rotated as well. That's our only problem, but for backstab this works better. It's a little bit too forgiving, of course. It's a little bit too easy, but for what we have right now, it should work fine. So let's fix. As you can see, we get some greater angles. So maybe we can just say like 45 or 50. Let's say 60. Okay, then when you are being backstabbed, so on the AI controller, when we are passing the backstab, we do fix our rotation. We just need to make sure that there's nothing affecting our rotation right now. Let's see what we do on target. We change to be interacting. Okay, we change the target animation. Crossfade, okay. And we have our look rotation. Now, we already have a way that controls the rotation of the character based on root motion. Okay, so we have the hand rotation here, which then we should be checking. Let's see, set update, what do we have? Update is boss, is grounded, is hit, handle detection, then we have active, snapshot, can rotate, otherwise we're using the transform. Yeah, I think we just need to make sure that this is not happening anymore. So now the problem is, however, we do need to rotate with delta rotation because we have a turn animation on the end of this. So let's try and force on the being backstab, get backstabbed. Let's try and enforce that you cannot rotate. So it will work with the rotation of the animation instead of lerping to a direction. I think that should probably fix it. We should probably fix the invisibility frames when we are rolling. But I think the backstab just looks great over here right now. He does do a rotation. Which breaks our logic a little bit. Yeah, there was no possible way I could fix that. But the parry works just fine. Let's do one. I didn't. Let's try and fix the. Let's find the correct sword position for the parry. So we have that done as well. Okay, you see that is a little bit off. We could probably place him closer, I'd say. I think something like that is fine. So let's lock this. Let's find the new inspector tab. And then let's find our global settings. Or our resource manager, yeah. On other projects I call it global settings. So that's why I confuse it sometimes. Okay, perfect. Let's unlock, and I think that should be fine now. Now, I think that's all well, for the most part, I think that's all we need to do. I think on my project, I'm going to cut the backstab without the turn at the end. So it's the AI that decides which way to turn and not the animation. And let's see. Something went off over there. I think the swords stay on the corrected rotation and didn't revert back to 000. So we need to fix that as well. Yeah, we need to fix that. I thought we had it. Oh, it's still being parry. Parry stabbed, let's see. Override. Where's the... What? Oh, it's locked. Oops. Parry stab. Okay, that's fine. And let's find our animator. Then I think on empty we can force on enter combo info set. Yeah, or maybe let's just try play target animation. Okay, backstab distance, get backstabbed. We just need to rotate the weapon container back to the correct position. Was left rotation, which is override weapon rotation. Yeah, we now never do this. So has rotated. If you're not interacting, it has rotated weapon container. Let's see where this is get through. Only, yeah, we only do this once, so on the two places we do this. So here is left or has rotated weapon container. No, I think we already do that. Yeah, we do this from here. So the next part will be here. Okay, perfect. So I think that should also take care of the rotation. So you see, there's a lot of small bugs that are coming from everywhere that we need to take care of. And that's why we're doing so many revisions. Revisions because that's how you actually make games. Okay, there's the parry fix. And there it is fixed. Then there's the backstab, and then there is the backstab. Perfect. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm going to trim the backstab. This is just for my own taste, to be honest. You don't have to do that. So he's getting backstab, and then he gets up. And yeah, that's not right, so we need to fix this actually. So he keeps the, yeah, we need to fix this, so he keeps his previous rotation. I also will want to see, we're doing some interruptions where we are attacking. So if I attack him when he's getting up, I think he's going to, yeah, as you can see, it interrupts his animations. We don't want that. He could still be doing damage, but we definitely do not want that to happen. And we of course do not want this to happen. You don't want to backstab him while he's in backstab, obviously. Maybe he's... No, okay, the sword is good enough. Okay, so we need to fix all of them, which means on the enemy, I think I'm just going to assign some events and handle it through the animation maybe. Let's see, enable can be parried, disable can be parried, enable parry collider, trigger projectile. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say public void enable can be backstabbed. And then public void trigger or enable non-interrupt. Okay, then we're going to have some bools over here where we will say public bool don't interrupt animation, and public bool can be backstabbed. Then enable, well, we can just pass this as a bool and we have a status with this, and then we could say enable or can be backstab equals status, and then can be or enable don't interrupt animation equals status. Okay, then I'm actually just going to assign I'm going to create state behaviors inside the animation itself. So in here I'm going to say on enter enable backstab, or on enter backstab status. That's better. Not status. Okay, then animator hook. Let's add the namespace. Get component animator hook, a hook dot. Well, let's check for if it's not null, of course. So a hook dot enable can be backstabbed, and we will have a public bool status here. Then we will have the same thing for interrupting the animations. Although that could also be controlled from the attacks themselves as action containers. Then let's do on enter interrupt status. Let's open that. So I'm basically just going to copy this, and then let's open that again. Now the namespace, then instead of the backstab we need enable non-interrupt. Save everything. Then let's just go add the states in here. So on enter, we're going to set both the interrupt and the backstab status to true. On getting backstab, we're going to do the same thing. But now they will be at false. On death, it should happen the same thing. On state, on interrupt. Although death is a little bit, you know, its own stuff, and the Parry stab should be on enter backstab status and on enter interrupt status. Okay, we can of course add this on our player ourselves, but we don't really have anything that interrupts the player that it shouldn't be. So when we're checking if you can be backstabbed on the AI controller, we will also check Well, where do we control this from? Nowhere. Okay, we control this from nowhere, so let's just check for animator hook. Can be backstab in then. And let's delete this one since it's not used. And then on damage, when you're going to be playing the animation, let's see, you have the kill controller. Okay, let's say that if you actually kill him, interrupt the animation either way. So I think we already had that, but I don't know where we yeah, okay, we were controlling this from nowhere. Oh, it's the above one. Okay, so let's say if animator hook if this is false, so that means we need to make yeah, okay, we did something wrong. On ender interrupt status is going to be true, so that will mean yeah, okay, we kind of had this the opposite way, so this needs to be false, so it won't be and don't interrupt, so that means this needs to be true, so you do not interrupt him, and this needs to be true as well. Okay, then one more thing that we need to be doing is we should also be checking if you can interrupt when you're trying to do the backstab. So bull can be backstabbed equals false, actually equals false equals true. So if animator hook can be backstabbed is false, then can be backstabbed equals false, or let's rename this to result. And if animator hook don't interrupt animation is true, then the result is also false. And then we return the result. Okay, so that's are the two ways we can ignore this. Now, can be parried can also happen in the same case, in the same position with the same logic, but I think it's not needed because logically you wouldn't be able to do it anyway. You're playing also an animation. Okay, so we should be able to attack him. It will just not do much. Okay, I do attack him and he does not interrupt his animation. His animation that is. Okay, and I can interrupt his attacks, which, as I said, we can control his attacks that can be interrupted based on a few other things. That should have happened. Don't know why. Okay, let's go. Collapse. Then human enemy. This turns on for can be backstab. Don't know why though. On enter. Oh yeah, that's why. Because this is turned to true. This needs to be turned to false. And on enter interrupt it should be true. That's why. Okay, so now it should be working fine. I think we also had a pass damage on as an animator event. Let's check our animator hook. however. Let's see, where is the animator hook? And we have the on screen say apply damage. Okay, then let's add that on both our stabs. Let's drag and drop this character, or our player character, better. Let's say apply damage here. Then on the Backstab tab, on here, apply damage as well. So let's see the damage being applied to. Okay, there's our damage. Let's check the parry as well. Perfect. Then on the next part, we're actually going to cut both the backstab and the parry. So if the enemy is dead, he will play the death animation and not the get up animation. Okay, so that's it for this part. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and if you like to see more stuff, more videos, more series, more of everything, then of course consider supporting my Patreon so we can keep making all of these nice things we're making. I'll see you next time.